Welcome back to our Summit podcast series. This will be our last podcast in the series as Summit is already next week, which is so crazy. Here with me today is Bobby Small and our guest, Michelle Talada. Welcome, Michelle.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Of course.
Yeah, we're excited to have you. I know you've done a few of these. How many have you done? How many summits is this for you?
This is actually only going to be my second summit. So I'm super excited to see everybody back again this year. I've already got my orange gear.
I love the branding. I'm trying to, we are a purple. We really took on purple as a color this past year. And I was inspired by Avalara's Orange Brigade that it's, when you see somebody striding through the conference in orange, you know where they're from. And so I'm trying to bring that philosophy to Ellipse. So we've got, what do we get? Everybody, shoes?
Oh, purple shoes. Yeah. So Ellipse has, everyone that will be at Summit this year has purple Vans. So
yeah.
I'm thinking with your love of shoes, Bobby, did you come up with that?
Well, I did. I bought purple shoes. I don't know if it was last year for the summit. I think I had purple Pumas. Yeah. Like, really light, kind of a lavender leather purple Puma, which kind of started the trend, and then it took us a year to come around to it, but here we are. So we each have our own choice. Like how many different versions of the Vans do we have?
There are 3 that we gave people the option of buying. So yeah.
And was there a clear favorite?
What's that?
Was there a clear favorite? I can't remember which.
Yeah, so there are high tops, low tops, and checkered, but people like the low tops better. So
the low tops for variation. Cool. Right on. It was funny. This is the second year for me as a vendor. I've been going to Summit for over a decade now as an end user, but it's interesting as a vendor. This is my second year. Last year was my first, so much different experience. Which is what we're here to talk about, like what as a user, as a vendor, whatever, what's going on in Expo Hall. So yeah, first off, just so you know, I'm not in the wilderness. I've got a coat on, but I've got a bit of a chill. I got all my pre-conference boosters yesterday. I got COVID and flu and swag no more. So I'm not going to be bringing any swag back. So I got all these boosters and they're rolling through my system. I'm a little flu-like, so I might be a little loopy today too. You never know what might come out of my mouth.
Perfect.
So this being your second for both of you, what was the first experience like at Expo Hall? What was your first, like, if you had to say, hey, the first Expo at Summit, what's your first takeaway? We'll start with you, Michelle.
Wow. Well, I was a little overwhelmed last year, to be honest. It's really big, but I just loved the interaction with people. I mean, being able to interact with all of the different vendors and just learn about, the Microsoft ecosystem more. And then all of the potential clients, right? So people just coming up, and obviously I bring up the orange because it's so recognizable at first. I will say I'm not normally an orange person, but working at Avalara, people are like, yeah, like it's a thing. Like it becomes part of your wardrobe.
Right.
My husband actually looked at my closet the other day and he's like, it's getting out of control now, Michelle. Like it's a big chunk of your closet's orange. But
that's hilarious.
So like walking through the conference and having the orange on, at first I felt a little, I don't know, like it was standing out, right? Attention, but I'm so much more comfortable with it now. And then people will just come up to you. Oh, we use Avalara. Oh, I love it, etc. And you get to chance to meet people in person. So that was just the best thing. Partners, clients, people who aren't clients, just having those conversations face to face, especially in the world that we're in now. We do so many things virtually. So
it was a big jump back into it. I mean, the summit prior to that in Houston in 2021 was there were just so, last year over almost 5,000 people at Summit. The year prior it was like 1,000, so a huge jump. Like you said, that between 21 and 22, the folks were just clamoring back to these live conferences. So yeah, it was much like what I remember from the old days. What about you, Savannah? Anything stick out to you and your first Expo experience?
Yeah, I'd have to agree a lot with Michelle said. Yeah, a little overwhelming at first, a few bumps in the road that I think I mentioned in one of the previous podcasts. But yeah, overall, just great to see everyone in person. I'm also very new to like the Microsoft community, so it's great. It's a great learning experience hearing like the jargon in action, getting to learn who everyone is, what everyone does. So yeah, just great overall. I'm excited to see everyone again with a little more experience under my belt as well, know a little bit more what to do. But yeah, overall,
So
great.
Michelle,
Excited.
you mentioned that it was overwhelming at first. Did you learn anything in the moment, like anything you could pass on? Like, hey, by day 2, I realized here was how I could, get more out of it. Or
So I am by nature a planner. I like to have, my calendar planned.
Yeah.
And I think that was one of the things that was a little overwhelming for me because I knew certain people were going to be there, but it was hard sometimes to connect because
Yeah.
everybody has their own schedules. They're trying to get to classes and whatnot. And for me, that was a little overwhelming at first. So what I came to realize, and this is kind of goes with just a lot of things in life, right? Like you can only plan so much, and you do have to at some point just go with the flow. And
Right.
by the end of the conference, because at first I was going into it thinking, oh my God, I have no pinned down like meeting. I mean,
Right.
like I can't pin anyone down to like actually talk at a certain time, but it just kind of naturally happened. And all the people I
Yeah.
wanted to see, we just figured it out. Like we shared cell
Yeah.
phones, or, oh, hey, you're here. Oh, hey, I'm here. I'm going to stop by your booth. And that actually kind of became a bit of a fun thing once I let go of the need to like feel like I had to control it. And I
Yeah.
just went with it and just said, I'm going to throw myself into having good conversations. And that's it. And
Yep.
whoever I met along the way, just good conversations and just a lot of learning and positive things came out of it. So I would say plan to a certain extent, like know some
Yep.
things that you want to hit, but also be okay with going with the flow and just keep an open mind.
So I've got a hybrid of both of those. I've planned and also planned that serendipitous time as well. So I did last year. I had zero plan, like you said. I tried. It became a bit overwhelming. I had a few appointments locked in, but then got busy and forgot. Got sucked into something that was really exciting. You realize you can't hear your phone, so you don't hear your alarm going off to tell you you're supposed to meet Michelle at her booth or at the the cool place where we can sit down and have a chat. So I've got it a little bit more locked in, but I did exactly what you said. One of my favorite parts is just really roaming the aisles of Expo, and I've been doing it long enough that even though as an end user and now as a partner for a couple of years, I know so many people that it's fun just to see who's there and just meet them. Just kind of that aha moment, kind of in the moment. That's a little bit different than having a scheduled time to see them. I think last year I met a guy I hadn't seen in probably 4 or 5 years because of COVID and you just missing each other. And he was with another guy from his company who happened to be a music producer as well on the side, which was a weird thing.
Wow.
He was like a guy and a music producer, kind of like on like B or C level movies, like not like Hollywood blockbusters, but but still fun.
Yeah.
And we ended up talking for a few minutes, but by the end of the conversation, we had developed a small movie around Expo Hall, gathering different swag, and he was going to score it. Just just in the cup, just kind of joking around, but it's just fun, just kind of having those moments to remember. And the next time we see him, we'll probably talk about it and build on it. Maybe we'll actually do it this time. I don't know. Savannah and I got our recording mechanisms ready. Savannah, you're going to love it. I've got this microphone, so I'm not holding up the little lavalier. I've actually got it in a microphone.
Nice.
So I've outfitted this out nicely. So we're going to be doing some roaming interviews in the Expo Hall. So look out for us. We'll be tapping. We may come by and interview you if you're up for it. Just
I'll be there.
Yeah.
I'll be easy to find in orange.
Yeah. Right, purple and orange. It'll be like but just the two dominant colors of the Expo Hall. And just want to point out, we talked about this in our first episode. The mobile app has a great feature which allows you to tag vendors as well and make notes. So you could, if you're going through, like Michelle said, hey, I want to plan a little bit. I know I want to see Avalera, and I know I want to see this company, and you just know you want to do certain things. If you're not putting them on your calendar, you can at least start marking them. And that way you'll know where they are in the expo hall, because it's huge, and you're going to want to kind of have that pegged out, so you're not wasting time. You may be doing this between a session or two, or at lunch, and it just, that time gets eaten away so fast. And so if you're an end user, having some plan around who you want to see, it may just be a few, it may be a lot. Definitely get that locked in, and then like Michelle said, just have some of that other free time just to kind of roam around and see who else is there. Anything fun you saw last year? Like I saw, I think my favorite booth was the French Bistro. Do you remember the French Bistro, which is in the front of the expo? I mean, I was like so jealous.
So was I.
Of that booth. Yeah, it was a good one. Anything else you saw, either of you, that stuck out as far as like a really cool way that a booth was done, or person was doing, because most every booth is going to have some kind of hook to get you to stop by.
Well, we threw a last minute thing on. It wasn't part of the original booth plan, and I just heard about it yesterday afternoon. So I hope it is definitely going to happen. But I think we're going to be doing karaoke at ours.
Oh,
that'll be so fun.
I'm thinking you said you were booth 903. Is that right?
903. Yes, we're
I'm
right
adding
next
that to
the
my
door.
mobile app right now.
Right when you come in the door. But
awesome.
when she mentioned that yesterday, our Jessica in our marketing department, I was like, are you kidding me? Because whenever we get together as a group, so I'm on the Microsoft team at Avalara, obviously. And whenever we get together as a group, we try to schedule some karaoke. And even though I've done musical theater and things like that, I've never done karaoke.
Ever?
No. Until I joined Avalara, and the guys were all like, and there's all guys on my team. Well, I'm one of the only women on my team, and they were all like, come on, we're gonna be there, we're gonna be cheering for you, and they were amazing. And I did it for the first time, and I was just like hooked. And now I'm like, let's do it again. It's so exciting. So,
all right. What's your song? What's your go-to karaoke song then?
Let's see. I don't really necessarily have a go-to one.
All right.
I'll kind of do anything. I like all kinds of music.
Right on. But Savannah, are you karaoke? Do you do this?
I'm not a big karaoke person. No, I've done it a couple times, like in college, but I feel like that's a little different. But yeah, I don't have a go-to song or anything like that. But I love that idea. That's so fun.
It's funny, Michelle, because I still do musical theater, and I'm in a choir, and a number of the people in the choir, it's a rock choir here in Denver, and a number of the people are big into karaoke. Like that's their weekend activity almost every weekend. And I've yet to do it. It's the kind of thing. It's just I get busy and I have other things, and so even though I love singing and I love being on stage and do it pretty decently, I just never get around to doing karaoke. But it's fun,
right,
and
you're gonna have to come over.
It's gonna be fun to come by your booth. Yeah, it's gonna be. If I might have to book a spot because it's gonna be so popular. And we do a millionaire game, so we've had this for the last couple of years, where people can come over and learn about Microsoft, but just like it's formatted. I mean, it's like, I was just showing it to somebody else. We're going to do it for a first time attendees session. We decided that you were looking for something fun. So I just used our template to create some first time attendee questions, and so impressed. I mean, Brent, I think, is the one, our marketing manager, put it together originally, but it's just like the television show. It's got all the sound effects and the lights. It's all in PowerPoint. And so folks can come by and try to guess, try to go through a couple questions and win a prize. So definitely there's fun things going on at the booth. So keep your eye out there, because if people are going to, have these things, advertised. If you're not interested and you're walking through, this is my tip number 2. Just have your phone out and just, if you're walking by a booth and somebody's trying to talk to you, just put your phone up real quick and, give them the nod, the phone nod. That's the quick way to walk by a booth without having to go in the booth.
Yeah.
What goes into planning a booth, Savannah? I mean, you've done this now a couple of years, plus we did another conference too. So you've done a few of them now. Mm-hmm. What's that like, just for folks who don't know? Maybe somebody's out there that watches this that's going to be doing it next year, or as their marketing person, mm-hmm. or conference person. What goes behind the scenes in all this?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's always like choosing the positioning of your booth. There's so many different, I mean, the expo hall is huge. So,
Do you mind if I bring it up real quick? I'll bring up a
yeah,
picture of it so we
absolutely.
can see it. Yeah.
Yeah, so one of the first things in planning is like you have to choose which spot you think you would have the best traffic at, who your neighbors might be, everything like that. So that's one of the main parts of it. So yeah, all of these are kind of like open at the beginning, and you get to choose which one you would like to have. And then after that, it's just kind of like your booth design, what you think might stand out, what would go together. Giveaways are like a huge decision to make too. You want something that's appealing for everyone, maybe not too corny.
Yeah.
But yeah,
How
and then
long did it take us to get through that process? That was like a 2-month process to figure
yeah,
out the giveaways.
yeah, it's like the smallest of things when you're going through the expo hall. It can take, take the longest time to decide. But yeah, and then just activities, like Michelle was saying, you guys decided to do karaoke. We do millionaire, but you always just want something to like try to entice people to stop by, whether it's just for fun or not. But yeah,
Yep.
so those are kind of the main things, but a lot of decisions need to be made throughout the planning process. So
Said you can see, like you again going back to just the planning aspect, you can see the immensity of it. You've got your big booths, there's lots of smaller booths, and it's endless forever and ever.
yes,
Here's the karaoke, just so you keep it there. It is right
right by
there.
the entrance.
Millionaires over here. So yeah, yep. So yeah, there's a lot going on. Just to point out other things when you're there, there's if you're looking for information on Dynamics communities, they've got a booth over here. There's lots of stuff going on at the Legend stage, so you want to keep an eye out there. They'll likely have some type of agenda up on a daily basis, but they've got some diversity conversations. They've got some awards. They've just kind of constantly having activity at the Legend stage if you're looking for something to do there during a break. And Michelle, you brought up a good point. We were looking for lounge areas. We're not sure. We know we can see some spots here, but we're not sure if they're allowed. But typically, you'll find there's spots to grab a seat and have a chat with folks on a more intimate basis. If not, the lunch area is right outside of here too. But yeah, definitely another reason to think through your plan. If you're trying to hit a bunch, just know where they are. Take a look at this map. Load your mobile app up so you'll remember who all you're talking to and why, because you'll have notes. And yeah, they're missing a puppy corral. We were at a conference in
Yes.
in Columbus last year, and they had a puppy
Yes.
corral, and that was pretty good.
So Avalara did that
Yeah.
at a conference. It wasn't a Microsoft conference, and I said, what in the world? I want our booth to have the puppies. Why does the Microsoft booth?
You're right. Exactly. I mean,
But
you're
yeah.
immediately you're going to get foot traffic. There's no doubt about it. People are coming for puppies
Immediately, and
from
everybody
miles
has
around.
wonderful feelings right around the puppies.
They're in a happy mood. The endorphins are rolling. They're buying it.
Yeah.
What I bought? How many subscriptions about here? I didn't even need more
I
than
hand
one.
you a puppy and
so
you
yes.
say, talk to me about sales tax. It's okay.
Exactly. How can you say no? Look at this puppy. The puppy's asking you.
How do you
Look
make
in its
sales tax
eyes.
cute? Puppies.
I love it. Savannah, I was going to bring up, just as we were finishing up here, before we have any final thoughts, I thought it was hilarious. Last year, Savannah alluded to it. We had her first year was really crazy. Our TVs got lost in the mail. We went out to buy new TVs. In the meantime, they had TVs for us. So we had like TVs. We had way too many. We had TVs for everybody. We were giving away TVs by the end. But when we were trying to pack them up, I can't remember what was causing the delay, but we ended up going out to dinner and we came back and the cleaning staff had raided our box of we had brought all this money, like themed stuff, like glasses and a money shooting gun and a bling and stuff. And I didn't see it, but Savannah, were you there?
Yeah. So I think they lost our pallet when they're bringing the pallets back to pack things up, and our pallet wasn't coming. So finally we were like, okay, let's go out to dinner. Hopefully when we get back, the pallet's there. And so we get back and the pallet's still not there, but like we had a box of all the stuff that Bobby was talking about. And I see like the cleaning ladies like wearing these money glasses or like a money sign on it. And I was like, what in the world? And at that point, I just didn't care. So I was like, they can keep it. I'm not even gonna say anything.
They were rocking it. We didn't rock it, so they deserved it. They pulled it out of the box and
Exactly.
wore it, so they got to keep it. But it was just funny to come back and look at all of our stuff, and they just were. I imagine stuff gets left all the time. They probably get boxes of really cool stuff that get left behind.
Yeah, I'm sure. I almost forgot about that part, Bobby, until you mentioned
it.
No,
I'll never. That kind of sticks back there as just such a funny, like end of Expo Hall, memory for sure. Any other thoughts? Anything we haven't talked about? I mean, definitely, have a plan, but don't have a plan. Love it. Know who you want to talk to. Lean into it. Enjoy these experiences. The vendors are there. I put this out there in our description. I mean, you've got, I don't know how many, couple hundred, 300, 400, 500, vendors. Likely, this is thousands of years of experience in dynamics. So, definitely lean into these folks. If you have questions, you might find answers in these booths. People are there to do this. They're there to help you. It's not all about just, selling you something. These folks are here for community. So lean into this, don't be afraid to step up and ask questions. If somebody there can't answer, they'll find somebody, it's just this is a big part of why this is a successful event and why this community thrives. So that's my takeaway. Don't be afraid to ask your questions and bring them to the folks here. Anything from you, Michelle?
I definitely agree with everything that you just said. On the flip side of that, have fun. I mean, it can be a blast. And I've found, and I'm sure you guys have as well, that there are just some really amazing people in the Microsoft ecosystem. And so just have fun, have good conversations. And, and I know this sounds, I don't know how this sounds, but and there's a lot of free stuff too. So whether it's tchotchkes or last year, I don't know why, but we had Blinky rings, like these rings that lit up. Everybody loved them. I mean, tiny little things. They took them home for their kids, but I know Avalara is partnered with a few other ISVs. We're doing a passport thing. So we hand you the passport and then you go get it stamped at several different vendors, and each vendor is giving a prize, and they're pretty nice prizes. So like big gift cards, smart goggles, air purifiers, things like that. So it doesn't cost you anything. Drop it in the box. You could win something. So, I mean, that's what I would say. Learning is the main goal, but have fun while you're doing it. And hey, who knows? You might win a really nice free prize too.
Maybe have a swag checklist. Like, it's like, hey, I definitely need go around your house before you leave. Like, we definitely need more pens, more blinking rings. We need some koozies. We need, just whatever you need. Make sure you got a checklist as you go in, so you can just check it off. He's like, okay, I got my allotment of pens. I've got 10 now. I've got, and you may find stuff you don't need. Socks are popular. Any last minute or last words from you, Savannah?
Yeah, I love going around seeing like what all swag everyone has. I know this year we have koozies, so there's a lot of like drink opportunities throughout the expo hall too. So if you need something to keep your drink cool, we'll have that available for you. But yeah, overall, just excited to get back and see everyone. So very exciting.
Did we end up getting that koozie cannon so we can shoot the koozies to people across the expo hall? Because I know there's some liability issues, but I was hoping we were able to push through them. No, okay,
I don't think we did, but maybe you'll just have to use your strong arm, Bobby. Just
there you go.
Just
have to throw them. Yes, there you go. All right.
Oh, and I wanted to share with you guys too, and to the audience as well. The ISVs that we went in on the passport for the prizes, we're also doing a party on Tuesday night. So after the welcome reception and all of that, we have a party. You just need to stop by our booth and we'll get you a wristband. So it's free.
Awesome. Yep.
Should be a blast. I think it's 9:30 to midnight.
Awesome. That sounds right. You're doing that with Netstock and
Cavallo, Netstock, Evis Charge, SPS Commerce.
SPS Commerce. Yep. We put that. We did an experience podcast on Tuesday, and we dropped that information in our socials as well. Yeah. We told them to stop by your booth and get a wristband. So hopefully,
Should be fun.
People are cool. Yeah, you bet.
Awesome. Well, Michelle, thank you so much for joining us. Everyone, make sure to visit her at booth 903. Belt out your favorite karaoke song. I'm so excited to see and hear all of that.
I'm not saying I'll be good, but I'll have fun.
Even better, honestly, if it's not. So yeah, and to everyone watching, listening, if there's any last minute registrants out there, make sure to do so quick and use our code ELLIPSE10. And if you haven't watched any of the past podcast episodes about Summit, make sure to do that. There's a lot of great information in there just to help everyone prepare. It can be overwhelming, but if you are prepared and just ready to go with the flow, it can be great. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you at Summit.
See you next week.
Bye, everyone.